right? Okay, gonna make sure everyone is streaming okay over on the Facebooks as well. Oddly enough, my cover photo is from the Northern Lights in September of 2023 when I was in Canada. That shot right there. Super, super cool. It was on the shoreline of Lake Superior. It was just above Michigan, so it wasn't too far north at all. But we are going to be watching out for that chance to come in again for us. So, why is this happening? Well, if we're going to read all these words here, I'll sum it up for you. But we have 7 Earth-directed coronal mass ejections. Now, you need the coronal mass ejection, which is also called the CME. That's what causes the Northern Lights. Sometimes you get those flares and outbursts and stuff. They don't really send what we need our way to be picked up by the Earth's magnetosphere and then turn, into the Northern Lights. And I will say, meteorologist, which is me, typically handles anything from the ground to outer space. So while outer space has been kind of my second just kind of hobby, and I've been learning about it because when you're in broadcast meteorology, you're the station scientist. So you got to know all this stuff. So I've really done a lot of learning over my years. I'm from Northern Michigan. So, a little bit of this has been in the back of my mind for a long time. But here, believe it or not, we have this thing called the Space Weather Prediction Center. And I know some folks might not know that, but space weather prediction is a thing. And it's a thing because when we get severe storms like this, or if there's one that would ever be stronger than this, they can cause significant issues across Earth, especially when you're talking about communications, electrical grids, voltage, things like that. So this watch is a severe geomagnetic storm. This is the Space Weather Prediction Center's first G4 watch since 2005, and that was in January of 2005. We're halfway through 2024 already, so we're looking at basically 20 years since this has been issued. Now, this can affect GPS, it can affect other technologies, so we'll just got to be on the lookout for that. But let's talk a little bit more about what we can expect here. So again, G4, you see in the top corner there, 7 CMEs. Now, usually when we have something issued, it's for 1, and then the 1 is like a big maybe. But to have 7 headed our way, that increases our chances basically 7-fold. If not more, because from what I've read, a CME can pave the way for another CME. So if you have 7 in a row, it's like a train going down a track, and like you push everything out of the way and away it goes. So chances are pretty good. So basically, this is nothing to panic over by any stretch of the imagination, but it could be just like one hell of a Northern Light show coming our way tonight. And I'm going to be out there. I might not sleep tonight, I don't know, but it's just really exciting. And yes, there are clouds in the forecast, which I'll get to in just a moment if you're watching from Michigan and the Great Lakes. Again, I'll look at comments and stuff and maybe focus on some other areas, but right now, here's what we're looking at. So the active space weather conditions can actually continue through the weekend. There is a chance still tomorrow night into Sunday morning, and we're talking after sunset, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., it's the Northern Lights. We're getting into the longest days of the year. So yeah, it's going to be confined into the middle of the night, right? Because it's light out until late. It gets light out early, things like that. So Saturday night, there's also a chance. It's just not as great of a chance as what we're seeing out there tonight. And also, this is something cool that caught my eye too. There's a solar radiation storm event going on right now, which can also impact communications around the polar regions. So that's kind of interesting too. I don't know a whole lot about that, but there's the graphic, and this has continued to increase a lot. It's like almost twice the strength as when this graphic was made earlier today. Here's the state of Michigan, and I tried putting a couple of things on top of each other, and I tried labeling to make it as simple as possible. Well, it looks like they loaded backwards, but here's 11 o'clock tonight. And this is when the KP is forecast to be 7. Now, that bottom red line, which goes across Chicago, the border of Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio, that is the KP 7 line. So anywhere north of that line or along that line should be able to see the Northern Lights with the naked eye. Now, of course, you have to be away from city lights. That is the best possibility. And it's going to look totally different to your naked eye than it does through the lens of a camera, especially like one of those long exposure cameras like what I have in the background here. To my naked eye, when the background picture started, which I'll highlight here for just a moment. So when I took this picture, It was looking great to my naked eye. It was a little more white for sure. You could definitely see some of the green coming through, but to the camera, this is what it picked up. And it does look a lot better through the camera lens. Before it got this good, I literally thought there was just like a city in the distance. And then I was like, wait a sec, I'm in Canada. There's like literally nothing up there. So that was the Northern Lights. And so, don't be fooled. If you think it's a city in the distance, get the camera out. And if it starts looking green, that's the Northern Lights. But we should be getting these pillars forming and things like that. And when I took this, the KP was 7. I was just north of Sault Ste. Marie. So I was in southern, I guess, that chunk of Ontario. I was in the southern part on Lake Superior. So this was a KP of 7, and this is what it looked like. To have a KP of over 8 would just be absolutely incredible. And this is what you would see only further south across much of Michigan. Now, again, we do have clouds, but definitely something to take a look at. So 11 o'clock, yes, there are clouds and rain coming in. The areas that are that like grayish blue are highlighting the clear skies. So yes, that does include a good part of Michigan. 11 o'clock, that rain and the clouds though will be moving to the east. So if we go to 2 o'clock in the morning, you can see that line moving east. Now the good news is it's in a line, which means we have a little swirl up around the UP and a cold front draped down. So what that means is we can wrap in some dry air on the backside of it and hopefully get some clearing immediately behind this line. Therefore, now we're talking the west coast of Michigan and the lower peninsula has a pretty good possibility for clearing to start as the Northern Lights are peaking. So my plan of attack here, and I hope I'm not sending the whole state of Michigan over here, but my plan of attack is to be somewhere on the west side of Michigan and to drive north-south based on where that line is coming on through. 5 o'clock in the morning for diehards still out or those waking up early to catch it. Notice we are seeing some clearing along Lake Michigan in that grayish blue area. The western upper peninsula along the shores of Lake Superior and the Keweenaw would have the best chance to see some clearing as well. And, if the clouds were even broken, you might be able to see them in between some of the clouds. So I still think it's a pretty good shot and that we should go out and take a look. I'm going to be taking a look. This is also from the Space Weather Prediction Center. And again, we're talking over an 8. So that almost takes it as far south as that red line. And this would be like visible to the naked eye. There's other things which I'll show you in a moment that show that line much, much further south. That's more for like cameras and long exposure photographers, things like that. But this is like literally the northern half of the United States has the possibility to see the Northern Lights overnight tonight. Here's that other map I was talking about. See how far south that green line is? Again, Florida, Texas, Arizona, we're talking like if you're in an unobstructed view away from city lights with a 30-second exposure camera and the ISO like all the way up, that's what we're talking about for maybe seeing them that far south. Otherwise, you have to be significantly further north, and I think this does a much better job of highlighting who will actually see it with the naked eye and who won't. So I want to leave it on this really quick while I look at some comments here, just to make sure I'm not leaving anyone in the dust with some questions. Okay. Oh, someone else with the last name of Sugden. Awesome. Thank you for subscribing. Yes, you can subscribe to YouTube. I do have a subscription fee on Facebook where it's like $2.49 a month, and it just helps support me, and I put some really good information on there as well. Okay, lots of folks excited there. Let's see what the TikTok world is saying. North Carolina has the possibility, mainly with like a long exposure camera. Ohio, yes, you have the possibility. Again, like middle of nowhere, completely dark. And we're looking at like, best chances with the exposure camera. I took a lot of pictures on my phone even. You can go into your pro settings and you can adjust the shutter speed to like 30 seconds. So find YouTube videos on how to do that and learn this afternoon, and you'll be in a really good spot, even if you just have a cell phone to work with. Colorado, so we are looking at the timing for the best time is 2 o'clock in the morning for Michigan. Colorado, you're 2 hours behind us, so that would be midnight for Colorado. Yep, Shiawassee County has the possibility to see it. Missouri, most likely with a long exposure lens because you're a little far south. But it is possible, just possible. Southern West Virginia, it is also possible to see them down there. Yep. Best chances in any southern state. So we're talking Missouri, Kentucky, West Virginia, the Carolinas. Your best possibility is again with a long exposure lens or long exposure cell phone camera. If you can set that lens to 10, 20, 30 seconds, just mess with the settings and play with it. You know, like shut your bathroom door when it's dark, like light a candle and play with the exposure settings and see what works the best, you know? Let's see. I got a notification that we're filtering comments. Is someone being a jerk? I hope not. This is fun. Yeah, I know. This is really deceiving. And Florida people, I just like want to point out like this is very deceiving. So just be careful. Why is it not focusing? Come on. It's like it focuses and then goes out of focus. Oh man. But it focuses like on my hand. There we go. Okay, I think we got TikTok focused. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay, so let's keep going through here and see if I missed anything. Yeah, doesn't really look like it. And we'll switch over here and look at another weather model. Let me get this going for the online people. Okay, here we go. This is Pivotal Weather, and yes, I do subscribe to this. I paid money so I can use it in my broadcast. So before anyone gets antsy that I'm doing something wrong, I'm not. All right, so all these times are in Zulu time, which is over in London along the Prime Meridian. So we have to, and if you're in the Eastern time zone, you subtract 4 hours. If you're in the Central time zone, you subtract 5. Mountain time, you subtract 6. So, like someone was asking from Colorado, see how we have 6Z under where it says simulated IR satellite? That's 6 o'clock Zulu time, which minus 6 would be midnight for Colorado. Minus 4 is 2 o'clock in the morning for Michigan, so on and so forth. So you basically just subtract 4, 5, 6, depending on which time zone you're in. And so, like, yes, we got the clouds coming on through, as you can see here, a little bit of clearing potentially along the Lake Michigan shoreline. And by 2 o'clock in the morning when it's peaking, you know, the Western UP is not looking terrible. Not terrible. There will be some clouds, but I think there will be broken clouds. So we'll have some holes in them where we can potentially see it. And this is now 1 hour further. So we're talking 3 in the morning, Michigan, 2 in the morning, Central, 1 in the morning, Mountain Time. But Mountain Time's not even on here right now. And now we are 4 o'clock in the morning. We're seeing a lot of clearing on the western part of the state. Maybe some more development down to the southern part of the state. But notice, like, yeah, there's some hope. And then we start seeing these, you know, grayish, whitish areas circle back through behind the red and the blue. And that's really low-level cloud cover. And that makes sense, right? You see the storm spinning. We always get those, like, little poofy clouds when it's spinning on through. But again, what this means too is we could see some drier air wrapping on through, like kind of like a dry slot, if you will. So keeping an eye on that there for sure. And spirals on by. And I think this would go forward enough. Yeah, so now we're talking Saturday night. Again, there will be chances for northern Michigan and the UP, and there's a lot of clearing up there. A lot of clearing Saturday night into Sunday. And we're looking at a KP index of 5 to 6 then, so that would primarily be for the northern part of Michigan for sure. I'm going to be camping up in Tequamanon, so probably going to head up to Whitefish Point and take a look. I'm excited. I can't wait. And yeah, so that is what we're looking at there. Play. It'll just keep cycling through, it looks like. Ooh, that's really fast. I am sorry. It's like it's trying. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so you see like the low pressure spinning on through, spinning on by. It might take a couple loops here to really get going smoothly. We're doing good. We're doing good. Oh, we paused again. Oh, well, we're trying. Oh, right. Lots of comments about, yep, things have been looking good lately. Top of Tennessee, there's a possibility. There is a possibility. You know, it's not all for naught. Oh, wow, I was way up the comments. Holy moly, I'm sorry. Probably not in Alabama. You know, if you go to the north side of Omaha, I think you'd be in an okay spot. So I went to, if you don't know, I used to live and work in Omaha for 4 years, and I'm sure that's why you're on my subscription. But Omaha is kind of like, there it is in your screen right there. Cloud cover wise, you know, you guys are looking good over in Omaha. I drove up to a nature preserve on the Iowa side in the Les Hills, Hitchcock Nature Center, and there's a KP of 6 or 7, and I saw them very faintly. So it's possible that you see these in Omaha for sure. I would definitely drive out of the city and take a look see. Yep, and there we go. So spiraling on through, but here's again during the peak time, which would be about 6Z, which is around 2 o'clock in the morning, Western UP, good chance. And yeah, there, you know, the thumb over into rural areas of the thumb might have a good chance there as well. There's a lot of light pollution between Saginaw, Flint, and Detroit, so you got to get away from that. But the thumb is possible. Manistee, Ludington, you know, Silver Lake Dunes, Ludington State Park, possible there as well. And notice how that line keeps moving eastward, so, you know, the chances get better and better. I want to flip back over here to my slideshow. Okay, so again, I made this map with the KP line on it, hoping that the KP forecast and everything works out a little bit better for you. And there will be rain with the clouds coming through, by the way, so be prepared for that. It's not just clouds. It's actually like a cold front with rain, maybe some thunderstorms coming through. And if you get a shot with like lightning in the northern lights, that'd be pretty sweet. So definitely, if you get a picture of that, I would love to see it and share it on my page for sure. So again, this is 11 o'clock, and the KP forecast, according to the Space Weather Prediction Center, is supposed to be about a 7 at 11 o'clock. And, you know, sometimes these arrive early, sometimes they arrive later, sometimes they're a total bust. I will say, though, from what I understand, they can be a bust for sure, but that's usually with 1 CME coming our way. That stands for coronal mass ejection. If we have 7 coming our way, which we do, 7 CMEs in succession, that increases our odds substantially. So I'll be out. You know, you don't win if you don't play, like the lotto. So I'm going to go out and play tonight, and I'm hoping to win and see the Northern Lights. But there's always a chance that it doesn't work out. So I don't want to hear, like, you told me to go and I didn't hear it. And it's outer space. We can only see, like, a little bit of it. So, you know, might work, might not. But the chances are really, really good. So I will be out there. But yeah, this is 11 o'clock, KP forecast 7. That would be the bottom red line through Chicago, south of Detroit, through Toledo, and right along the Michigan-Indiana border. So it's possible at 7 o'clock. Then we go to 2 o'clock in the morning right here. So there's that line moving eastward, 11, 2, 11, 2 a.m. So now we're getting more cloud cover on in here. And this is model simulated cloud cover, by the way. It's not necessarily going to be like a solid cloud deck, and it might not even be there. It's a model. You know, it could change. It could just be only with the line of storms coming through. So definitely something to keep in mind there as well. Chances are still good. But at 2 o'clock in the morning, KP forecast is 8.33. And that would be like way south of the line I have on here. So showing the state of Michigan and everything, this is when we could see it way south of that line. I mean, we're talking people in Cleveland might see them over Lake Erie, you know, so it's possible that this is going to be really cool. And then notice how that moves east still, and this is 5 o'clock in the morning. The KP forecast from the storm or the Space Weather Prediction Center is still expected to be between a 6 and 7, which would be most of this map, but now we're retreating a little further off to the north, and we'll see what we see, but those chances are definitely there. Definitely there. I do want to go back to the beginning really quick, because I think we got a lot more people watching than earlier, for sure. So again, see where it says 7 Earth-directed coronal mass ejections are in transit? That's under the key messages in the yellow there at the top. That's a lot. And again, if you see in the white subtitle at the top, this is the SWPC's first G4 watch in 20 years. 20 years. And I'm thinking we'll get an update later today. You can go to the Aurora dashboard and see what's going on there. In fact, why don't we go take a look and see what's going on right now. think so I got the Aurora dashboard pulled up. 24-hour observed maximums. Looks like we've already observed a G4, so we'll have to scroll down and see what's going on with that. But here's the forecast on this thingy for tonight. So yeah, there's a lot of possibilities tonight. Keep in mind, I don't think anyone's watching from up here, but where it's like daylight all the time now, this is inaccurate because it's daylight all the time up there. So just keep in mind, like northern Alaska and like the northern part of Canada might not be so lucky. So again, that's tonight. The red line, which is the southern extent that the aurora might be seen, and this is again means like on the horizon, like very faintly on the horizon. On this red line, it goes down through Kansas City, through Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. And I trust this a lot more than I trust that other one that had the line going down through Florida. There's just no freaking way. So unless it's like a bonkers event, but we'll see. So again, best chances, like it could be kind of overhead in parts of Michigan, the Upper Peninsula, Lake Superior. Gosh, I wish I was in Ontario around Lake Superior for this. That would be so nice. If my boyfriend didn't have to work today, I'd be like, we gotta go now. Like, throw our crap in the car and let's go a night early, because wow, I would be like, let's go. But yeah, now tomorrow night is also on here. Turned over the TikTok people. So tomorrow night is also on there. And the view line goes through like the middle of Michigan, northern Iowa. So this is when we're going to be on Lake Superior. Probably a pretty good chance on Lake Superior that we'll see them. And again, it's lower on the horizon, even up there. Straight overhead is in like these reds, and the green is like lower on the horizon kind of thing. And I'll tell you what though, I saw them straight overhead. If you have the ability to drive to an area where they could be straight overhead, do it. You can literally see it like streaking across the sky, like we're actually we know what it is. We're being hit with like that stuff from the sun, but you can literally see it like streak across the atmosphere in like a millisecond, and like just the speed that has to go to like cover the whole planet in like a millisecond. It's just wild and super, super cool. Super cool. Let's see. Scroll further down. They're not showing a whole lot as of right now, but here's like the actual forecast that you might see a lot. And the 8.33 is the G4 right there. It's also, if you see, it's in that Zulu time, or I think that stands for Universal Time. Whatever. Either way, it's in that. And you have to subtract 4 hours because that's for like London, Greenwich time, all that stuff. So we are in Eastern time, so you subtract 4, so that would be 02 through 05, which is 2 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. Central time, you subtract 5 because you're 1 more hour back. So that would be 1 in the morning until 4 in the morning for you, and so on and so forth. So just keep in mind that UT is like London time, Greenwich time, Zulu time, whatever you want to call it. And we have to convert those times. So again, 8.33 is in the middle of the night. It is not 6 in the morning to 9 in the morning. It's going to be light outside then. So that's not when it's for. Not at all when it's for. Probably not in Texas and Oklahoma, unless you're way out in the middle of nowhere and you have a camera that you can set with a really long exposure, maybe. But again, that's a hard chance right there. Oh, let's see. Here's some other things. Look at this. This is the proton flux, whatever. But this is when the solar radiation thing was issued for, and it's like just going up and up and up and up and up. And something else is these BZ. You want that to be like negative. That means, from what I understand, and I'm not an expert, okay, but I am learning as my station scientist and meteorologist, all that. But when BZ is negative, that means it's drawing energy down from the poles, and that's when you see the northern lights. So if that is not negative, keep in mind that it needs to be negative for anything to be happening. And it is negative right now, but that might increase a lot more a lot more. You can also put an animation of these eruptions from the sun on here, and you can see like there's one, and I think there was another one when I watched earlier. Yep, right there. Lots and lots of activity. Super cool stuff. Super cool stuff. To be able to see that. So the Aurora dashboard on the SWPC site, which is the Space Weather Prediction Center, is super cool. And this is just showing the sun and the sunspot area, which is this really bright area. See how it gets like super bright for a second? I think. I don't know. I'm trying, guys. Yeah, clouds go away. So lots of cool stuff we can do in the Aurora dashboard here. Let's see what other dashboards we have access to. Space Weather Enthusiast, maybe that one's cool. Got all kinds of tools and fun stuff here. Here's a solar visible light where you can really see the sunspots going on. I want to make sure everyone can see this first. OBS Studio, come on. There we go, okay. So yeah, that gray one, the solar visible light in the middle, that's the active sunspots. This is looping a lot, it looks like. We're going, that's back. So there's a sunspot, a couple right there, some more sunspots there. That area though, that's huge. That is a huge area of sunspots, and that's where we get a lot of the eruptions from. And as you can see, that's kind of pointed our way, right? So it's not like it's on the very side or something like that. And as that continues to rotate out of view, like let's see how long it took to even. This is from Cinco de Mayo until now, so it's rotating out of sight now. This might be the last chance for a little while. We'll see though. We'll see. Never say never. Here's a lot of, this is all really complicated, and I've had to educate myself a little bit on this as well. So don't feel bad if you don't know what this means, because it's definitely very difficult. But when you see the BZ things start going crazy and getting negative, again, that means it's kind of dragging it down into the poles. So let's see, UTC hours. Yeah, so basically it looks like it's starting to hit us within the last like hour or so, with these BZ values starting to go nuts and everything starting to go nuts. So, yeah. And then we got this model that kind of shows things headed our way, or I guess has in the past. It does go into the future a little bit, but let's scroll back. Yeah, so this is showing the impact around Earth. And again, this is lining up pretty well with, 2 o'clock in the morning being like the main event time. So we'll see if that actually happens, but it's looking pretty good that it is going to be around 2 o'clock in the morning. And again, this is possible for like the whole state of Michigan to see. So really exciting stuff. And this is tonight's forecast. So if you're watching from here, I hope you know what your state looks like, because it's on the map. Everyone watching should be on the map. Yeah, work is overrated, I know. But our reservation starts tomorrow and we got stuff going on. I have to keep applying for jobs and stuff like that. So after this live is over, I will be applying for some more jobs. Yay. Yes, Ohio is going to be able to possibly see something. Again, right there, the red line, which is the view line, and this will be low on the horizon, so you have to have a clear view of the northern sky away from city lights. So, you know, don't go like if you're south of Columbus or south of Dayton, like don't go south and look towards the city. You want to be have a northern unobstructed view. And actually there is a light pollution map. Let me pull this up. Light. I don't know why Yahoo's coming up. That's Yahoo. I clicked on something wrong. Light pollution map. Allow cookies, because that's what we do. Okay. There's a light pollution map for the state of Michigan, and go to Google and just type in light pollution map, and you'll be good to go. Ads everywhere, but whatever. So, like, yeah, there's a lot of light pollution in Ohio, but areas with the green would be your best bet to go to. Michigan, obviously, the further north you are, yes, if you're headed to Lake Michigan like I am, there is some city light possibilities there, but you know, we'll take a look and we'll hope. We'll hope. I thought there was a different thing to click on that kind of filtered it out a little bit more, but let's see here. I am not sure. Map layers, features, roadmap hybrid. No, I don't know what that means. Feature. Oh. What happens if I click on this? I don't know what that is either. Colorblind. Oh, that's cool. Nice feature. Yeah, I thought there was a different way to look at this that kind of got rid of some of the ambient light around the cities. But basically, I think green you would be in a good place, and obviously blue or less would be fantastic. So really, really watching out for the northern lights. And again, this is the light pollution map. So obviously you got like Saginaw, Flint, Detroit, Lansing, Grand Rapids. Not the best places to be to see them, but you know, northern Michigan, great. We'll keep an eye on the clouds too. So we'll go back over here really quick. Okay. Oops. Is this just going automatically now? Manual. It's on manual. So why are we going against my wishes? Anyway, so I took this when there was a KP of 7, and this was on Lake Superior, for those of you that weren't watching earlier. And it's just super cool. Now, again, to my naked eye, it did look a little more white and washed out. You could see some greens, but yeah, just keep that in mind. Also, some of my experiences here, before it hit, it looked like just like a glow of a city on the horizon at points. There was actually even like this little halo thing, and I was like, oh, that's weird, but it doesn't look like the northern lights. And then I got my camera out, and it was green and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But to your naked eye, it might not look like this. Like, so if you have a camera, like, excellent. And again, go into your camera on your phone and start playing around with it now. I have a Samsung. There's a pro mode. Go into the pro mode, start messing with the shutter speed, mess with the ISO settings, go into a dark room and practice. Like, you know, like I said earlier, shut the bathroom door. I don't have windows in my bathroom. Shut the bathroom door and like light a candle or something and play around with those dark settings. If you have a night mode, I think that would also work pretty well. But if you can go into the pro mode and really drag the ISO higher, or you know, if there's too much ambient light and it looks like daytime, you drag the ISO down, open the shutter more. So you can, on my phone, I can make the shutter open for 30 seconds. Now, if I do that, I got to drag the ISO down. So figure out your balance of ISO and shutter opening and all of that, and you should be okay. I took this picture on my phone, my Samsung phone. It wasn't with a DSLR camera. You don't have to go buy anything super fancy, but I have used my phone. I have a GoPro that I've used also for stuff like this because you can control the shutter speeds, and it's a really good time to practice right now before darkness hits. And again, it'll be dark after like 9 p.m. in Michigan. We have very late sunsets here. So I'm thinking, honestly, probably more close to like 9:45 or 10 would be the best time to head out there, because by 11 it should be roaring, and by 2 o'clock in the morning it should be really roaring. So do keep that in mind. And again, there's the light pollution map too. I cannot comment on anything medical related to a solar storm. I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. Apologize. So again, Aurora displays looking pretty good. Lots of fun stuff possibly coming our way tonight. Got that Space Weather Enthusiast page. So again, the SWPC is a fun site to play around on. Google light pollution map and you can find where you could drive to get away from light pollution. That's really helpful as well. And maybe the slideshow here will work this time. It's just going to keep auto advancing, it looks like, even though it's not supposed to. And now it's going faster. Huh. What did I do wrong? I'm trying to figure this out. Is it this? Stop. No. Okay. Okay. I think, okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay, I guess I have to, whatever. This thing's bothering me now. Anyway, let's go talk about the clouds again, if I can get this to cooperate. 11, stop. No, now it's going away. Oh my goodness. All right. I love technology. I want to get these little red bars off the screen for you, but it is what it is. So, whatever. This is 11 p.m. You see the rain coming through. It's this grayish blue color. That means there could be some clearing. So, you know, if that works out for us, that would be excellent. And maybe this line will speed up a little bit and just be like out of here. That would be awesome. So I'll have to wait for some different model runs to come on through and see what that looks like. But we'll go play around with that here in just a moment. And I'll be on here for another few minutes before I leave you guys. Then we go to 2 o'clock in the morning, and you can see the west side of the state, primarily along Lake Michigan, will probably start clearing out a little bit as this line comes on by. So that'd be really cool. Really cool. And if you're under just some clouds and it starts like looking a little bright outside, it would probably be because the northern lights are illuminating above the cloud cover. So that would also be really cool. Really cool. Okay, so this is not working, and I want to go back here. So here we go. Let's go back to the models and start exploring. Okay, so that was the HRRR, High Resolution Rapid Refresh. Here's a different model. This is the North American model, 3-kilometer resolution. And let's see, we are getting towards, this is midnight right now. So 3Z in Michigan. So this is 11 o'clock. I think I can zoom TikTok in. Yes, I can. Sweet. And again, we're seeing some broken cloud cover over here. That would be excellent. Probably just use my mouse. Oh, now I messed it up. There, stay. Okay. So yes, over here, this is showing some broken cloud cover with the best chance for clouds kind of central UP along the west side of the state. And this one, by the time 2 in the morning hits, which is when the forecast peak of this is expected to happen, we start clearing out along Lake Michigan on the west side of the state. That would be super cool. That would be super cool. Super cool. Also, notice there's some clearing in the thumb too. So, you know, Sand Point, Port Crescent State Park. I'm not even sure if Port Crescent's open this year. They might be renovating, but they have a dark sky park there. at Port Crescent State Park, by the way. So Dark Sky Park at Port Crescent, a little shout out. Take a peek. It'd be worth the drive. I'm not going to lie. If I lived in Flint still, I'd be going. A 90-minute drive from Flint, I'd be like, down, sold. Too cool of a chance to pass up. And then as we go throughout the next couple of hours, this is getting towards when things are starting to wrap up. So this is 5 in the morning, lots of clearing on the west side of the state, potential clearing across the Upper Peninsula here as well. And I see folks asking about Indiana and stuff. So if I zoom out, you're on the map now. Broken cloud cover, but still some cloud cover possible down there too. Timing in Mackinac is the same for everybody else. 11 p.m., 2 a.m., 5 a.m. So, basically all night long is the possibility. In Akron, again, if you pull up the light pollution map and find somewhere that is green, that's your best bet. So head somewhere green, because that means there's not much light pollution, and look north. You have to have a clear view of the northern sky. Michigan, we all know light pollution, right? I mean, you got to pretty much go up north or to the thumb. And again, Port Crescent State Park, which is right about there, is a dark sky preserve. There's the dark sky preserve in Mackinac, but that might have a decent amount of cloud cover almost all night long. There is going to be a chance tomorrow night, too, for Mackinac and areas in the Upper Peninsula. Again, look how not light polluted the Upper Peninsula is. The picture that I was showing you earlier, I took over here, which there was nothing. And I'll tell you what, I've never seen the Milky Way from horizon to horizon before. It was so cool. I've seen it being from up north. Like, I'm from Gaylord. I've seen the Milky Way, like, obviously all the time. But from horizon to horizon, like, that was just next level cool. Super, super cool. Okay, where are we at here? Oops, I'm not on my page. Switch now. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to leave you guys with that. There's the cloud cover forecast and everything. I will be posting more updates throughout the day. I got to get busy doing some other stuff, like finding a new job and things like that. But I will be on here doing a lot of stuff for you, so I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in a little bit. Turn TikTok off first, and.